What's up, guys? I'm glad to jump back on here and make another video, connect with you guys. It's been so good to hear all the positive feedback. I really appreciate you. If you're into this kind of content, like, comment, subscribe. I'd love for you to subscribe to this content as I just go on this journey of sharing my heart and sharing prophetic words and knowledge and just walking with the Lord. So the story that the Lord put on my heart to share today is about racism, right? There's so much tension in the world today. Things are crazy. You know, we've got protesters in the streets down here in Nashville, Tennessee. People are walking and doing loops around the Capitol all the time. We've got rioting. We've got, these police cases with high tension, and things are just a little bit chaotic, and it just made me become a little introspective. And so when all of this stuff started going down with the cases of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, I kind of took to myself and I was like, all right, God, is there any time that I've experienced racism? Like, I know I've experienced so much covert racism, but have I experienced overt racism? And as I prayed real quickly, a memory came to mind of me in junior high back in California. And so I was in this class and we had a break. Class was just about over and there was a pretty girl in the class and she was sitting next to me and I wanted to talk to her. So I turned and I started to talk to her, and I mean, on a dime, she turned her head so fast. I mean, I don't think anybody's ever responded to me this quickly before and said, don't talk to me. My grandpa's in the KKK, and if you talk to me, I'll tell him and he'll kill you. And at that moment, my jaw was on the floor. I had no idea what to say or what to do, and I kind of didn't feel safe, and I kind of was confused and just like appalled all at once of like, yo, did you really just say that? Like, I can't even believe that came out of your mouth. And the next moment she like did a fake laugh and was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm just kidding, of course. But at the end of the day, like, even if she was kidding, who jokes about something like that? Who jokes about killing someone because of their race? Who jokes about having a family member in the KKK? Regardless if she was kidding, that's still racism, and that's wrong. And what was highlighted is that God's heart is for equality. Look, like, he made each and every one of us equal. And so that kind of took me on this personal journey of, being introspective myself. Is there any ways that I've been racist? Are there times where I've let things slide that other people have said or done that are not okay, that, I end up being a part of the problem as opposed to part of the solution? Another story that comes to mind is I was in college, and I'm the type of guy that's friends with all different kinds of people. I never get really clicked up with one group of people. I just meet people and I enjoy having different kind of people's company. Anyways, there were these group of guys from one of our sports team, and we were in the same class, so we studied together and worked together. And after working together for a long time, one day they stopped and said, hey, Dylan, we want you to know we don't even think that you're one of them. Like, we don't think of you like them. Like, at that moment, I was so confused about what they were talking about. I kind of didn't say anything. And the other guys chimed in. They were like, yeah, Dylan, like, we don't consider you to be one of them. Like, you're cool. You're one of us. You're not like those other guys. And I didn't know how to handle it in the moment, but what I realized was they were saying, like, I'm half black and half white. They were saying, we don't think you're black. Like, we think you're okay. Like, it was just wrong, and it was foul, and it stuck with me for a long time. And, it was sad that so many people that I knew that were people of color experienced racism in college while we were going to the same school. And it was just sad, people, dating a girl, and the father finds out and he's starting to get a shotgun and go kill them because they're black and she's white. Parents seeing, totally different scenario. Parents seeing, okay, their daughter's dating this black guy, right? And they're fine with it until it gets serious. And when it gets serious, it becomes a problem of intertwining races, right? They weren't okay with the mixing of races because they didn't want like their genetic line to get polluted by their daughter marrying and having kids with a black man. That's pretty foul, man. I'm telling you, that's not right. That's not justice. That's not God's heart. But I'm trying to share with people that may not have been in my shoes and have my experiences, or may not have been able to see behind the veil of some of those racist experiences, or the experiences of black man. But racism is very real, and it's very sad, but it's been present throughout my life. People saying racist things, underhanded comments, assuming the worst. Another story, one of my friends was going to the shooting range. This is here recently after the events, and he kind of had a realization after the fact. But anyways, he was going to the shooting range with him and his friends. All of them are white. Nothing racist. I would never assume this is a racist person. This is somebody I'm fond of. I've got nothing against. We're all good. Anyways, he tells me that when he goes to the shooting range and they're all getting ready, he sees a group of black people walk in. And the first thought that pops in his head is that these guys are thugs getting ready to go back to the hood and like be prepared for gang violence. That's racism. I'm assuming you're a thug. I'm assuming that you're going back to the hood. I'm assuming that you're getting ready for violence because you're black and you have a gun. And where it's really wrong is nobody's assuming that about him and his friends at the gun range. I mean, people go to the gun range all the time. And so it was really good in one light to hear that he was enlightened by that perspective of being like, wow, like I had to check myself. My thoughts weren't in the right place. And so anybody that's trying to, get to know some things, take it to the Lord. Like if you're wondering, maybe, am I doing something racist? Ask God. Ask him to seek your heart. David asked the Lord, he said, create in me a pure heart, O Lord. And he asked God to inspect his heart. He asked God to seek it to see if there was anything of impurity. And I guarantee you that if you ask the Lord, is there anything racist in my heart? He'll come back with an answer. He'll come back with an answer. And just know that maybe if you have been on the side of racism or prejudice, whether that's consciously or unconsciously, as soon as you ask forgiveness, God wipes it as far as the east is from the west. He wipes that slate clean. And so don't carry any guilt for the decisions and the things that you've done. And know the difference between guilt and conviction. Conviction is God is tugging on your heart saying, hey, there's something not right there. Guilt is what the enemy puts on us to make us feel bad about ourselves. And that's not God's design. He's not trying to shame us. That's not God's heart for us at all. So look, as we're on this journey together through 2020, through these crazy times, I just encourage you to inspect your heart. Take your situation and circumstance, whichever side that you're on, to the Lord and say, hey God, I'm experiencing racism. What do you say? Hey God, I'm hearing my friends being racist. What do I say? Hey God, I just want to ask you myself, is there anything in my heart that's not of you? Because at the end of the day, our goal is to be formed in the image of Christ and Christ's likeness. And anything that's not of him needs to be purified and removed. That's sin. And so racism and prejudice fall directly in line with sin. That's not God's heart. God said that he created us all equal. We're all his children. God designed us. He made us. And I know that he didn't make one white person and say, this is good. And he didn't make one black person and say, this sucks. Nah, he was happy with it all. He said it was good. So I love you guys. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Again, like, comment, subscribe if you want to hear more content. And I hope this video blessed you. Peace.